Hello and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Everything I will discuss in this video is alleged and in my very own opinion, used for entertainment purposes only. Today I will be doing a recap of King's Court Season 1, Episode 4, Perfect Match. Hey, Elisa Triplet, thank you so much for being here. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we go right into the elimination mixer. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for being my moderator and all you do. And she has let me know that she can hear me. So we go right into the elimination mixer. And Dr. Shawana, who you guys know is my fave, love her. She's on the chopping block. And also Liliana, who is one of the ladies who did the skydiving, I think it is, with Tyson. And then also Catherine. She's an older lady. Well, I'm not going to say older. She's older than a lot of these ladies. Okay, so those three ladies are on the chopping block for the elimination dinner. So Thaddeus had a sit down with Shawana and he asked her, did her confidence, did the confidence she displayed in the beginning, because remember, um, Dr. Shawana came off very aggressive, like my man, my man, my man. And he liked that about her. Like, he was really, feeling the fact that she was aggressive. But then she did have a conversation with Thaddeus, and she told him that, in her job, force or whatever the case may be, she gets that on a daily basis. And she was very emotional, and he apologized to her because a lot of black women get the angry black woman, we get that all the time. So she really did feel some kind of way that he had said that to her. And Mama B says, I'm disappointed in the show. No way I would put myself in a position to chase a man. Mama B's girl, you got it going on because you think like me. But if I were to go on a show like this, which I probably wouldn't, I would definitely treat it like it was a competition, because that's what it is. Okay. So these ladies, once you make a decision to go on this type of show, you have to definitely treat it like it's a competition, and you have to fight for your guy. That's just what it is. So, he asked her if her confidence dwindle, that she had from the beginning. And she said, no, it wasn't the confidence. She noticed that he had a strong connection with Ariel, in which he does. So she decided to step back and let him explore that. So she decided, not to be like Janae and just smother the guy that she's interested in. She decided to step back because Mama Bees, she thinks a little bit like you. She doesn't want to chase a man. So I think she was going to take the approach of just stepping back and letting her man come and find her. And I think it's a good approach, but obviously it didn't work for Thaddeus. So, she didn't want to be suffocating. And, his engagement with her was much different than the engagement that he had with Ariel. And she picked up on that. So now we're at the elimination mixer. And that is, to my surprise, OMG, why he eliminated Shawana, because she lost her confidence and her assertiveness. So I was really, really bummed out about that because I really, really like Shawana. She's laid back. I feel like she's confident. I like the way she moves. She's intelligent. She's beautiful. She seems family orientated. I like Shawana, but I guess he needs his woman to, fight for him or fight for his honor, whatever. And, at some point, she just kind of gave up. At least that's what he felt like. She gave up on him. So Tyson eliminated Liliana because he felt like she wouldn't be able to handle his lifestyle because of her jealousy. And honestly, I'm going to have to agree with Tyson on this one. She really showed a lot of signs of jealousy. Like, this man is a whole entire model. Like, he's, what do you call it? Um, he's heartthrob. Like, women are always going to be after him, and you have to be a very, very confident woman to date Tyson Bedford, okay? And she's just not that person. She's a little, I mean, she says she's that girl, but it's a dating show. Like, you can't expect this man to ignore all of the other ladies that have come there to find love, as well as him, to just give you all of the attention. Because remember, they're supposed to be meeting 21 ladies. So why would he just block all of them out and totally and solely focus on you? And Mama B says, just like my shirt I have on today says, know your worth and then add tax. That part, Mama B's girl. I'm scared of you. You don't play. Okay, so she um she was eliminated by Tyson, and she added that he is not ready to find love, and everything about him is surface level. And I agree with that too. I totally agree with that too. And again, you have to be a very confident woman to date Tyson Bedford, because women are always going to be just throwing themselves at him. So Carlos was the last person to, either keep or eliminate the last lady. So it was Catherine. Catherine's 50. And he told Catherine that, he was really feeling the way she came out with so much confidence. And even though Tyson said that she wasn't a good fit for him because he still wants to have kids, um, Thaddeus actually really liked her because he doesn't want any kids at this point in his life. So I'm pretty sure it was Carlos and Thaddeus who decided to keep Catherine. And this is a strategy that I think that these men have. Anybody who shows any sign of weakness, jealousy, um, anybody who shows sign like they're not willing to chase after them, they're eliminating them. Like, even at the last elimination, I was a little shocked. So I think they're just getting rid of the ladies who they feel like are going to be a problem. Okay. So Tyson admitted that he has been spreading himself too thin, trying to accommodate all of the ladies, and it's taking time away from the ladies that he really want to get to know. Like, you think you just not figuring that out? So he plans to cut out some of that extracurricular activity he's been doing. But honestly, I don't think he came up with this on his own. I believe the guys called him out and they got into his ear and they kind of showed him where he was going wrong, because I think that he would be perfectly okay playing the black Hugh Hefner and getting all of that attention. I think he's totally fine with that because, like he even said, being flirty is his safety mechanism. So I believe that if he hadn't have been called out, then he would have continued at the same rate that he was going. But I think that he realized that he was breaking down the morale of the ladies in the house. And, the ladies were like over it. I mean, they were crying, they were emotional. So they were kind of over it. So Carlos couldn't wait to get back to Janae after the elimination dinner. And Thaddeus couldn't wait to get back to Ariel. And he seems excited to share the news that they were one queen down. So he was letting her know that, your biggest competition just left the building. So, you know, and Tyson, he was just kind of sitting there confused because he didn't know who to run to. He's been entertaining so many ladies that he really didn't know at that point who he wanted to get to know, who did he want to kind of close off like the other guys, So I think he was just sitting there waiting on somebody to approach him. So at that point, Tyson decided to create a schedule for the ladies to sign up for a time slot to spend time with him. And let me just say, I have never seen this play out like this on a show before. I've seen a lot of dating shows, and I've never seen it where a man had to create a sign up sheet just for these ladies to be able to secure their time slot to be able to spend time with him. And I get it. He's hot. I get it, but it was a little much. I was actually feeling sorry for these ladies because I don't think that they knew what they were getting into when they signed up for this show. So again, he's really breaking down the morale of the ladies in the house, that want to get to know him. And I know Thaddeus and Carlos are glad that they don't have them kind of problems. So Holly introduces the kings and the ladies to a professional matchmaker. Her name is Tanisha Wood, and she's also a dating coach. So Thaddeus wanted to know what was her success rate. So she said that she has an 86% success rate, and that's pretty good, in my opinion. She has an 86% success rate. So 86% of the people that she match up, they find love. So I think that's a pretty good success rate. So the final three ladies that will be introduced to the kings will be hand picked and hand selected by Tanisha, this matchmaker who's also a dating coach. So she has selected one woman for each of the kings, and they have been identified as a very strong match on paper. So the ladies in the house, they had a conversation because they were, a little worried about this whole matchmaker situation. They were not expecting that. So the show really did throw them for a loop. But one thing that they did pick up on was the fact that she said, the matchmaker, that they were a very strong match on paper. Okay. So that part of her introduction stuck out to them. So I think that kind of eased their mind a little bit, just knowing that, okay, they might be a good match on paper, but what about in real life? What about real physical connection, mental connection, spiritual connection, whatever the case may be? So I guess that gave them a little, bit of ease knowing that, her statistics come from them being a match on paper. So, what she did to come up with these matches is she researched the kings and the queens, from their online persona, different, what do you call them? Surveys that they had done and different relationships that they had been in. So that's how she was able to put her research together to come up with these matches. And she felt very confident that she has found a match for the three kings. Okay. So she told the ladies that they should be worried because she found some strong matches for the kings. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me plug up my. Thought it was plugged up. Okay, I think. Okay, so she said that she found some very strong matches for the Kings. So it was the arrogance for me. And believe me, the ladies were worried for sure. So the three ladies went on a group date with the three kings. And the plot twist was that the Kings did not know who their match was. So they had to spend time getting to know all three of the ladies. And at the end of the evening, they had to guess which one of the ladies were their matches. What a plot twist. I really like the way they did that. And honestly, guys, I've never seen them bring in a matchmaker like this on a lot of the other dating shows. And I really, really did love that whole concept. Like when I seen that they were going to do that, like I got really excited. Like this was a very good episode. It really was. So they had to spend their evening getting to know all three of the ladies. And then at the end of the evening, they had to guess which one was their match. So the guys were a little nervous about that because they wanted it to be so easy. They wanted, to know who their match was and then spend time with her so that they can just think in their head, no, she doesn't compare to my Janae back at the house. No, she doesn't compare to my Ariel back at the house. But they weren't able to do that because they didn't know who their match was. So they actually had to take the time to get to know these ladies. And honestly, I'm pretty sure they didn't really have enough time to really get to know these ladies. So more than likely, these men went off of physical attraction. But honestly, when you're, working with a small amount of time, what can you do? I mean, for the most part, you really have no choice but to go off of physical connection. So at the end of the night, there was three envelopes sitting in front of the three kings, and they had to choose the lady that they thought was their match. If they got that wrong, then the ladies risk being eliminated. But if they correctly chose the person that the matchmaker had matched up for them, then their match would be safe from the elimination dinner, the next elimination dinner. So, with this exercise, it was all about knowing yourself and knowing the difference between what you might need versus, I'm sorry, what you might want versus what you need. So that was the whole point of this exercise, with the matchmaker choosing their matches because she's on the outside looking in. And by researching these men, she can kind of get some type of idea of what they actually need versus what they want. She knows that more than likely they're going to choose the person that they want, not the person that they need according to their lifestyles, and you can learn a lot about a person by looking at other people that they've dated or been married to in the past. So that's what she had to work with. So after the group date, the ladies will move into the house. And to celebrate, you know, the ladies moving into the house, they're going to be throwing a pool party. So let's get back to these matches because that was the highlight of this episode. Okay. So the group date itself was very interesting. The Kings were very pleasantly surprised at all of the ladies. They were very classy ladies. And Jennifer, I think that all of the men could have chosen her. I feel like they were all physically attracted to Jennifer. Jennifer, she had an Asian culture. You can tell she, had some type of Asian, and she had on a split that went all the way up her thigh. She had tattoos. Like Jennifer had the look, okay? She definitely had the look, to catch these men's eye. Then there was Allison. Allison was an opera singer. She was beautiful. She actually knew somebody that was a very good friend of Tyson's. So they had a friend in common. And the guy that was a friend of Tyson's, she had been knowing him throughout her entire career. They worked together a lot. So that could be a good thing, but more than likely, it's going to be a bad thing. But we'll get more into that later. So then there was Kalia. And Kalia was a beautiful black lady. So Thaddeus immediately made a connection with Kalia. So when they sat down to reveal who they thought that their match was, Thaddeus went first, and Thaddeus chose Kalia. He thought that Kalia was the person that the matchmaker chose for him. And Thaddeus was right. The matchmaker chose Kalia for Thaddeus. And one of the things that she shared with Thaddeus that really got his blood boiling was the fact that she does pole dancing, which is very sexy, very exotic. Like, who wouldn't love a woman that does pole dancing? I personally never done pole dancing. I thought about it a lot, but I just didn't think I had the upper body strength to do it, and I never did. And Alyssa said, I don't like Janae. She thought she had Carlos on lock, but now she's showing her jealousy and insecurity. I hope she starts to see it. Honey, I hope she gets eliminated because you are absolutely right, Elise. She thought she had Carlos in the bag and she was getting very relaxed while all the other women were very on edge, just out of the uncertainty of who these men are really feeling. But she just knew that she had Carlos on lock. So, yes, she's starting to be jealous. And when he got back to the house after the group date, he could clearly see that she was jealous, that he said he didn't even know the person that she was at that point. She was distant, like he just could feel the tension. So, definitely. So, getting back to the connections. So, it was so funny that Carlos chose Jennifer. Okay, so Carlos thought that the matchmaker chose Jennifer for him. And guess what? Tyson also chose Jennifer and thought that the matchmaker chose Jennifer for him. So the person that the matchmaker actually chose for Jennifer was Carlos. And the reason why is because, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that they're both from DC, but they both live in Miami now. So they have deep roots in DC, but they both live in Miami now. They they have gone to the same church, which I still believe is Carlos's church. So she's attended his church before. So they just had a lot in common. So it would be easy for her to just mix right into his life. So the matchmaker chose Jennifer for Carlos. So Allison was the opera singer. So she didn't actually, nobody picked her for their match. So she does risk being eliminated at the next elimination ceremony. But honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think that Tyson is going to eliminate her for the simple fact of the matter that she is a friend of Tyson's friend. So he might just keep her around just for that reason, because maybe he doesn't want to deal with the backlash of his friend coming and saying, well, why did you eliminate my friend? Maybe he doesn't want to deal with that drama. So he might just keep Allison around a little bit longer, or he might leave it up to one of the guys to eliminate Allison. But Allison definitely felt like Tyson was her match. She feels like she might not be what he wants. She even said it. I don't think I'm what he wants, but I feel like I'm what he needs. So she definitely feels like she's a great match for Tyson. And honestly, before they revealed the matches and the names, thought that he would choose her. She's a very beautiful lady. He says he loves opera. And she can relate to his lifestyle, being a model. She deals with some of the same things that he deals with. So she would definitely fit right into his life as well. So I really did think they were a good connection. But again, like Liliana said, everything with Tyson is surface level. So he's looking at that young hot thing with the split all the way up to her butt. Okay. So he wasn't really feeling Allison at that point in time. And Mama B said Jennifer wasn't feeling Carlos, even though they chose her. She likes Tyson. Exactly. Carlos is probably what she needs, but he's not what she wants. So you are absolutely right, Mama Bees. Her and Tyson does have a connection. So now we have to wait and see if her and Tyson make their way back to each other. Because what I feel like is getting ready to happen is that Tyson and Carlos are getting ready to go head to head for Jennifer. Like, Jennifer doesn't have to try too hard. Like, she has this natural aura about her. And I feel like Jennifer exudes sexiness. So I'm pretty sure those pheromones are pheromoning and those guys are picking up on that. So I wouldn't be surprised if these two guys start competing for the attention of Jennifer. That's just what I see. And she's going to just sit back and she's going to let these men come to her, in my opinion. Okay. So outside of these ladies shaking in their boots, and then, at the end of the evening, the ladies moved into the mansion. So now they're mixing and mingling with all of the ladies. And I'm pretty sure that tension is very high. So, you know, the next episode is going to be very, very good. I mean, I really like this show. And I know I say that about all of the shows. And honestly, when I don't like a show, I will move on and I won't cover it. Even if I decide to finish watching it, I can only talk about shows that I actually really, really love. So now that the Real Housewives of Atlanta has ended, we've been through the season, we've been through the reunion. It's a wrap. We know that Married to Medicine, they're taping right now, so they might be coming back sometime soon. But in the meantime, we will be adding Heart and Hustle Houston to our lineup. So I will be getting to that first episode here soon. I thought I was getting away from Philo, but I guess, I'm going to have to keep the Philo. I was happy to get away from Philo because unlike some of the other subscriptions I have, I believe Philo might be closer to $20. A lot more expensive than the rest. But I know that a lot of people are going to be watching this show. So, and I think I'm going to really like it too. So we will definitely be adding that to my lineup of shows that I cover. So, guys, we are very close to the weekend. Happy Wednesday. I'm glad it's hump day because this week started off very rough. But we're almost to the finish line, okay? So guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did not like this video on your way in, please like the video on your way out. And if you just happen to be catching the replay, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop down in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going. Thank you guys so much for watching, and bye for now.